We are on a train leaving London. My brother Matt, Jack and myself are heading to Dorset on England's south coast. Hello dog. We've got just over 72 hours until we leave. Buzz it up there. In that time we'll camp and hopefully find as much interesting wildlife as we can. I'm asked fairly often what cameras I use, so here's a kit list for this trip. My main camera is the Sony a7S III. I have two lenses with me, a Tamron 28-75 f2.8 and a Sigma 150-600mm f5-6.3. I also have a Campark trail camera, a GoPro Hero Black 11 and an old analog stills camera which is a Canon AE1 loaded with a roll of Superior Extra 400. 100 would have been a better option, but I only had 400 in the fridge. I also have an old lightweight tripod which has seen better days. Ideally I would have brought something much more sturdy, but weight was an issue here. If I'm going to be carrying that big lens around all day and all the other kit, I don't need a heavy tripod. I'm recording this on my iPhone 14 and my brother will also film using his Olympus M10. Free pond. Maybe a bit difficult taking it home on the train. I don't think Mum would be impressed. The tent is pitched and we are going out on our first little explore. I'm really excited to be in this area. Haven't been here for 40 years, probably more than that. So many interesting species here. This little area is home to all six chickens. This area is home to all 6 native reptile species, lots of interesting birds that we don't see back home in London, a rare wasp and a few other mini beasts that would be great to find. Reptile wise, the smooth snake and sand lizard would be absolutely amazing to see. Smooth snakes will be harder to find. We will be very lucky to see one. But you never know. Either way, Jack's got an ice cream, so we're off to a good start. Terrible identification skills here. It's a nice lolly actually. There's a buzzard up there, so I'll get the big lens out and it will disappear. And of course it did. Just be aware there could be others. I could have grabbed this one but didn't want to catch it by and cause it to drop its tail, which is a defence mechanism that these and many other lizards use to escape from predators. I hope I caught that on camera. First reptile species, slow one. And then, while I was filming the first of many meadow pipits we saw, my brother, without actually realising it at the time, what you got there, Matt? Had found a scarce species that I was hoping to see. The Purbeck mason wasp, one of the UK's rarest invertebrates, only found on a few heathland sites in this tiny corner of Dorset. Then another potential lifer. Dartford warbler, we've got a Dartford warbler. Where is it? Oh, I've not seen it yet. Matt has. There we go. At this point I should make a correction. When I said we've got a Dartford warbler, what I should have said is Matt and Jack have got a Dartford warbler. For now, I've still not seen this species. We walked for another couple of hours. This was partly a recon mission, as we were planning to come out again at sunset with one particular target in mind.
We come down there, go down that trail, and then cut across there.
On the way we saw a good few expected common bird species. Plenty of stone chats, no surprise seeing them on the heath. Nice to get a good view of a spotted flycatcher. A red fox put in an appearance. A buzzard flew over, and we saw a good few fallow deer on the way back to the campsite. Let's eat. Then after a belly full of food, out we went again, in search of a very special bird species that none of us had seen before. As the sun went down, we stopped to film some bats. There was a couple of species, but no idea which. And it was while we were filming these that we heard the first sign of our target species. The unmistakable churring sound of the European nightjar. Where is it? This noise is insane, but I want to see one so badly. Even just the most distant flyby. Then, this happened. There. I can't believe we made the last minute decision to take this path. They were literally 2 metres above our heads. Oh man, that was a bit good.
Okay, just a little bit.
That was incredible. We can still hear a couple back that way. We can also hear an owl, but we are absolutely worn out and it's pitch black now. So we're going to call it a night, back to the tent, get some sleep. We've got a long day tomorrow. It was amazing to see all of this in just our first few hours in Dorset. And we still had 2 full days and a morning left here.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Just spooked the wood pigeon. Sorry, mate. And it turns out this evening still had one last little encounter in store for us.
Can I put it?
You are lying in the middle of a road. We're going to move you. Right, if you want to go that way, that's fine. Yeah, you're going to take your time. You're going to make a little noise, aren't you?
I don't think it is. Quite like she. Oh, snail. That's good.
Can we keep going? Alright, if you're not going to move any further by yourself, I'm going to put you a little bit further over. Go on, go that way. That's our good deed for the night. Little common toad helped across the road. What are you eating? You're eating your camera? You're eating a head torch.
I run out of hands. Sorry.
That's really hungry and he's eating his head torch.
Ruined your shot.
Yeah.
And you made it a bit better. Torch eater.
It's our first full day here. I was up nice and early. The others weren't, so I was raring to go. We got ourselves together. Half an hour into the walk, I've remembered that I rearranged my bags and I've left all the camera batteries back at the campsite. What an idiot. So I'm going back to get those while they wait up there. And they'll probably see all 6 reptile species just wandering past them while they wait. I have a battery, I'm on my way back to the others. They have found a common lizard, so hopefully it'll still be there when I get back. They'll get some footage anyway, but I want to see it. Great to see our first reptile species early in the day. My brother also filmed some nice dragonfly shots before we set off on the roughly 3-mile hike to our SPB Arn, where we were hoping to see one of the UK's rarest reptiles, the sand lizard. And with any luck, complete the hat trick of all 3 UK native lizard species. On arrival, we hung out at the bird feeders by the entrance, just long enough for me to prove to myself that filming handheld with a really heavy 600mm lens isn't very easy, and then moved on into the reserve proper. Small copper, very nice. This was our first time visiting this reserve, and I have to say, I was mightily impressed. Although the first mammal we encountered wasn't one I was expecting to see. These pigs play an important role in the reserve, clearing the ground covering of pine needles and bracken, which is hugely beneficial for many species, including the rare sand lizards and smooth snakes. The bad news, my tripod, which is so overloaded, is collapsing under the weight and about to fall apart. The good news, we have seen sand lizards. 3, possibly 4, maybe 5?
No.
It's 4 apparently. Who cares? Counting's for losers. It's always good to spot sand lizards, and I'm especially happy that Jack's got to see them. Over the last couple of years, he and myself have been on 3 unsuccessful trips out of London in search of these lizards, so it's great for him to finally tick this lifer off. Before leaving on, we had a quick look for raft spiders, but without any luck. Yeah, thank you. Colt it. Oh, it's a lesser spotted idiot. And here's our daily spotted flycatcher, somewhere up there. Lots of stone chats, making stone chat noises, to be expected, but nice to see. Oh. Slow worm dead in the road, which means we've seen all 3 lizard species in the UK today. Although one of them's dead, so it doesn't count. But technically, we have seen all 3 in the last 24 hours. I guess that's some kind of non-record in this terrible country of very few reptiles. We left the trail camera out at a couple of locations during our time in Dorset, but surprisingly all we managed to film was an out-of-focus moth, which won't be making the final cut of this video. One last little flip on the way home, and I got 5 or 6 slow worms, but I've let the rest go because I'm getting absolutely annihilated by ants, and a tiny grass snake who was playing dead and has musked all over me, and I stink, which means we've got all 3 British lizards. I'm getting bitten by ants. At this point, we've now seen 4 of the 6 native reptile species in the UK, and much as I'd love to show footage of us finding adders and smooth snakes, spoiler alert, it didn't happen. But with a trip to Brownsea Island planned for the next day, and a little more local exploring to do, Dorset still had plenty of interesting wildlife in store for us. That evening we headed into town for some food, but the main purpose was to find a pub so we could charge phones and battery packs. And on the way back we got frustratingly close to a species that I would have loved to have caught on camera, but it wasn't to be. Tawny owl sounds, but we can't see them. And there were a couple of critters in the campsite toilet block, a European hornet and a giant house spider who was unfortunately one leg short of the full set.
Filming wildlife in a campsite bathroom. Let's leave before people think we're mad.
And before going to bed, we got to see something that I don't see very often with all the light pollution in London. Stars, which I filmed really badly. Right, cranking the ice up to mega. Yeah, I know this footage is terrible and grainy, but look at that. There's the plough. Oh, wonderful. Soldier beetle in the tent on one of my brother Matt's stinky socks.
Mine.
Oh, it's Jack's sock. That's even worse. This is cruelty to soldier beetles. I'm going to take it outside and release it in a less stinky place. The plan for today is to walk into town, get a train to Poole and hopefully get a ferry over to Brownsea Island. There's a chance of seeing red squirrel, so let's see what happens. And on Brownsea Island, it's not just about the red squirrel. There's an impressive number of bird species. Lots of waders and wildfowl who make use of the massive lagoon and surrounding wetland habitat, which is where I'm hoping to see a species that I have seen before, but not in this country, the spoonbill. I should say Eurasian spoonbill to be more precise. We hadn't looked into getting to Brownsea Island at all, but fortunately enough you can just turn up and jump on a ferry. While it's not exactly cheap, it's still well worth a visit. And if some of the entrance fee we paid goes towards the amazing conservation project that's going on here, that's money well spent. We'd had a tip-off from staff that the best place to see red squirrels was in the woods by the church, so we headed straight there. Pretty thing. It's not a red squirrel, it's a black laceweaver, which isn't as cool, although I do like them. And while I was busy filming the spider, this guy was trying to steal food out of my bag. A common pheasant. Impressive, good looking, but problematic birds. Native to parts of Asia, they were introduced to the UK years ago, and they're now bred in large numbers and released so posh people can shoot them. And the ones that don't get shot have a massive impact on so many native species. They'll eat all 6 of the UK's reptiles and take a huge number of invertebrates. Brace yourselves for some of the worst camera work from our trip to Dorset. But hey, it's a red squirrel.
Not a good view there.
Even if I couldn't see it at first, then completely failed to get manually focused while my autofocus wouldn't work, at the same time as my brother managed to knock his camera into HD, but still did a lot better than me, and yes, I've upscaled it to 4K, which is why the picture looks a little soft. But at least Jack got to see a red squirrel. Next up, we moved on to the lagoons, which are an incredible bit of habitat. And from the bird hide, we were treated to views, albeit mainly distant, of godwits, avocets, oyster catchers, redshanks, terns and gulls of course, and the species that I'd really hoped to spot. This is my first time seeing spoonbills in the UK. It's a shame they weren't a little closer, but I'll take it. I'll certainly say one thing for Dorset. There's a whole load of dragonflies. We could have filmed a good few more, but that wouldn't have made the most interesting video. And besides, we needed to get back to Wareham and pack as much as we could if we were to stand any chance of getting out on the heath before heading back to London the next morning. Here's another pheasant, a female this time, with a young one. And on our way back to catch the ferry, we ran into another non-native and even more impressive bird, a peacock.
And on today's exciting episode of Wildlife in the Subway, it's a Rosselli's bush cricket. Let's take it out there. Go into my hand. Where'd it go? Did it jump on me? Is it on my tripod? Look, that's cool. And now it's jumped onto Jack. Go on, walk out here so it can get to the grass.
Oh, it's running off.
Do a little jumpy thing or just go onto the grass? Bye.
After our cricket encounter, we stopped off in a pub just long enough to charge phone batteries before choosing not to take part in the local tradition of jumping off the bridge into the River Frome.
Hello, Woody. We were wondering what to do tonight, thinking about taking it easy, but Jack wanted to go out and see nightjars again, so that's what we're doing. Hopefully we'll get back up here tomorrow morning before we leave. If we can leave the tent at 7 in the morning, we could probably spend until about 11 o'clock up here. Be nice to catch the first sunshine. Then return to the campsite, take the tent down and back to London. I really wish we'd stayed here longer. 72 hours was just not long enough. If we come back again, hopefully it'll be for a week, possibly even longer. This place is amazing, I love it.
Unlike our first quest to find nightjars here, we encountered a whole load of pesky biting insects, which we all dealt with in our own unique ways.
We are getting eaten alive by insects, but we hear nightjars there somewhere.
Over there as well. And there was one back that way. Oh, do that. Yeah, one.
Sadly, we have a roadkill slow rump being eaten by a slug. Oh, I'm going to move it off the road just so anything that eats it doesn't get squashed. Every day on this trip has started the same way, with an eviction from the tent. And today's uninvited guest is some kind of ground beetle.
Little grass snake, which I suspect is the same one we found the other day. It's a much more chilled, although it does smell.
Smell the musk. I love the smell of snake musk in the morning. It smells like victory.
Matt loves it even more, you should go tell him.
No, he'll fight back. We are out and about again. It's just after 7. Unfortunately, there's a lot of cloud cover, so no sign of the early morning sun I was hoping for, but we're going to get out for a few hours anyway and see what we can find. Little rabbit. Nice slow one. Not a snake, a legless lizard. Waiting for it to go fully back under because it's cold, so it's moving quite slowly, and there's a lot of birds around, and that would make a very good breakfast for them. Meadow pipit just flew up from a metre in front of us. It's over there somewhere. I can hear it, but I can't see it. Can you see it? Ah, there it goes. Yeah, well done. Sunshine. Oh, just a moment there.
And of course on the heath we got plenty of good views of stone chats, a couple of willow warblers, although the footage is so rubbish I'm not even going to bother including it. And who doesn't love a good house spider? And just as we were about to head to the campsite, pack up and go home, I managed to see that lifer that had eluded me so many times.
That's Dartford warbler. Jack, Dartford warbler in the birch on the left hand side.
I finally got a Dartford warbler. I was frustrated when Matt and Jack saw one the other day and I didn't, but now I have one.